What do you want?
Rudy is a problematic character.
Yeah, he's a sicko. Mushoku Tensai should never have been made. Oh no, you're all retarded. Listen, I get that's how it may look to you. A shut-in loser, low-life, perverted 34-year-old virgin decided to kiss Truck-kun on the lips and get reincarnated to another world. Except this time it's different. This time it's the series that popularized isekai. Rudy, in the hit web novel / anime Mushoku Tensai, is a literal walking embarrassment. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't suffer through high school learning about context clues, themes, and critical thinking, just for you to look at art and go, yeah, this bad because icky yucky man do icky yucky things. Yeah, he's deplorable trash, but you're missing the whole point. You see, you aren't supposed to like Rudy. He's a flawed character. Not only is he flawed, but he's deeply flawed at that, which, hey, happens to be my favorite kind of character. Reminds me of my own imperfections. But that's neither here nor there. Rudy is, for all intents and purposes, a vehicle for a little something we call character development. The whole point of Rudy is so that you can watch a flawed, suck-ass little stunted baby man grow into the man he never got to be in his previous life. Mushoku Tensai is about redemption, growth, the human struggle, not whatever the hell you're hung up on. Because forget the anime, forget the characters. Let me just tell you a story. A story about a man who lived in Japan. He grew up fairly normal until one day at his school he started being singled out by the popular kids in his class. They would laugh at him, make him embarrass himself, and most importantly, they made him strip down naked in front of the entire school. These are his peers. These are his classmates. These are humans degrading, bullying, and tormenting him until he just couldn't take it anymore. He stopped going to school. He stopped socializing, and all throughout time ends up pushing the ones who care about him the most away. He stopped caring. The pain of looking at the outside world is just too much to bear. Flashbacks and the sound of insidious laughter haunt him anytime he tries to go outside. He never got to experience love, a first kiss, a proper friend outing, college classes, a job, none of it. For the next couple of decades, he lives in this cage, day after day after day of the same agonizing cage that he exists in. Eat, play video games, masturbate, sleep, repeat, over and over and over. Until one day when he gets the munchies and decides he wants to go to the convenience store for some snacks. A truck suddenly wants to glomp some poor school students. The same high school students, mind you, are wearing the uniform of the school that has brought him so much pain. He throws himself in front of the truck attempting to save the students and ultimately perishes. Not because he wanted their approval, not because he wanted to be a hero, but just because that's who he is at his core. That is Rudeus, the 37-year-old virgin NEET who still has good in his heart after all the torment he endured. And that's his starting point. That's episode 1. The whole rest of the series is about him getting a second chance at living life. It's freaking beautiful. And the way the story is told is just immaculate. He's reborn as a baby with the sentience of his previous life. We get to see how this stunted man, who yoinked his Slim Jim 1,000 too many times, really is a fucked up and deeply flawed human being. He's peeping, he's using his childlike innocence to his advantage, he's worshiping his instructor's panties, he's wait, what?
See, this show is problematic. You're just making excuses because you're a freak.
No. You're still not getting it. These things that you're so hung up on, these problematic elements, they're storytelling devices. They're painting you a picture. In order for the good moments to hit, you truly need to understand just how fucked up Rudeus is at the start. Him becoming a better person, more socially aware, interacting with others, experiencing love, and overcoming his trauma, it needs to pop out at you against the bleak canvas that is his previous life. It's the yin and yang. It's the highlight that pops out of the shadow. You do not get good storytelling without problems. The story consistently tests Rudy and his ability to grow. First, from a being he calls God that interacts with him and gives him the most shady advice known to man. But later, Rudy himself pushes for his own growth. It's miraculous to see options present themselves for Rudy to be the same sleazy pile of garbage he's always been, but instead, he chooses to be better for the people around him. I remember very vividly the big turning point for his character development when, after they all got yeeted across the world, he finally reunites with his fake dad, in quotation marks. He was so self-absorbed and self-interested that he didn't even take the time to consider those around him may have been affected by the big teleportation jutsu. He saw firsthand that his inability to take things seriously had negatively impacted the people in this world who genuinely care for him. This single boiling point event completely flipped the script on his priorities and how he interacts with Paul, his isekai dad.
But what the hell, boy?
And again, on a much more relatable note, when he finally loses his virginity to the girl he fell head over heels for, just for her to vanish the next day, leaving nothing but a note behind. I don't know about you, but I fucking been there, buddy, and it sucks. Depression and overcoming your depression for the betterment of yourself and those around you is an extremely common theme in this show, and it's done brilliantly. Because let's be real, if I got a second chance at life, I would just buy Bitcoin and then fuck off with my millions of dollars. Now, as I close out this video, I really do want to drive the point home that I think you're not being empathetic enough to Rudy's situation. One of the biggest criticisms of the show is that he's a 37-year-old man in the body of a teen. And he dates and eventually marries girls who are in the same age as his reincarnated self. I understand the criticism. I do. I'd pop a PDF file with my Glock for being within 100 feet of a park. That being said, I think the circumstances of this fantasy story are slightly different. It's not so far-fetched that a fantasy character who is hopped up on fantasy hormones who fantastically did not get to participate in normal life would cave to the fantasy of experiencing a normal, youthful love. Mentally, he's been stuck in high school for his entire life. He is reborn as a baby and completely rehashes all the things he missed out on in life. This is his one opportunity to get to do it all again. Living a life full of regret twice is not on his agenda. Now, if I'm being reincarnated in another life, I just set up a multi-million-dollar industry and become the villain of the story. But in all seriousness, it wasn't until I started empathizing with Rudy that I truly understood what Mushoku Tensai was trying to convey. He goes from this slimy, gross little goblin of a man to someone dependable, someone worth knowing, and worthy of the life he carved out for himself in this fantasy land. And it wasn't until I truly empathized that I really understood that Rudy is real. Rudy is just a guy in Japan. There's probably thousands just like him, living life filled to the brim with insecurity and regret. Rudy is a lot of people, thousands of people. People who get burned by their colleagues, bullied by their classmates, tormented by other humans. And I'm not going to condemn those people just because they're not socially adjusted. Those people deserve a second chance in life. Those people are flawed, yes, but so am I. And hopefully together, with a little push from those around them, they will grow. Thanks again, as always, for listening to me ramble about an anime series. I have officially split my content into 2 channels. The one you should subscribe to right now is Bleck the Snack Reviews. Just hit that little button down there. My second channel, which will have VTuber and gaming content, is simply youtube.com/@BleckTheSnack. Check it out if you have a moment. Anyways, I love you. I miss you. I want to make a shrine dedicated to your butt. Bye.